Hello to everyone. It is July 5th at the time of me recording this YouTube video. I hope that you enjoyed your weekend so far. If you're over in the US, obviously I wish you a great weekend. I hope that you enjoyed your July 4th, got together with family, had a little break and forget for a little bit the stock market, news. Sometimes it's actually a great thing to see the market closed. I got news that I want to share with you. Now, they came out 2 days ago. But nonetheless, this is a stock that I think that people might want to pay attention to. There's a reason why, and it has to do with rare earth minerals. They're not really rare, but whatever. They're very critical for technology, for chips and airplanes and defense and security and all that. And we know that 90% of the world's rare earth minerals are controlled by China. So it's very important for the United States of America to find a way to obviously be independent, but from the beginning process all the way to the end. And the cool part about all this is that this is a publicly traded company that's doing very well so far. And I think that with the news that just came out over the weekend, it's going to do even better. The second part of this YouTube video is to give you a very quick review of our Discord and the new AI tools. And someone might say for sure, there's going to be somebody for sure that's going to post in the comment section and say, well, he's commercial himself, it's promotion time. Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe you want to look at it as promotion time and you want to click away and not watch my new AI features in the Discord that I will explain. But then, will you go on a search on your own, in your mind, as everyone does, we all do, and say, man, how do I find that the next stock? How can I be up to date? How can I be on top of things? How can I make money on the stock market? Well, instead of saying that forever, don't click away when someone wants to explain their Discord features. Maybe it might be helpful. Just watch it. Maybe you might find it helpful. On March 19, 2025, for example, I let my Discord members know that we had a Quant Alert, which is an AI power tool that judges based on certain criteria if a stock is a buy or not. And the Quant Alert came out, in our Discord and said, guys, ticker symbol LITE, it is a buy at 65.95. How do we know it's a buy? Because it has the green bar. Obviously, that doesn't mean it's financial advice and you should just blindly go and buy. But for me, these are very helpful tools. And I look into it after if I'm interested. And if I do my own research and I like what I see and I agree, then I'll buy. So that was that. It was $65.95. Today, LIT is at $92.75. NKE, Nike, got a score of 80 out of 100. And during that time, the stock was 73.41. So it told us that it is a buy at 73.41. Today, it's at 76.39. So, you're up. Right? You're not losing money, you're making money. And that's the whole point of being in the stock market. Another example of the fast momentum analysis for PLAY, when it was trading at 31.50 and today it's at 34.55. How about Alexandria Real Estate, this is a post I made on the Discord based on the AI tools on Stock Wizard that I had used to look it up. Today it's at 76.92. How about CTRE at 28.77? Today it's at 31.20. How about Sound at $10.02? It gave us a 90 out of 100, so that was pretty powerful. And today it is at 11.09. So going over on the Discord, you do get access to the Stock Wizard, which is the new AI features, which is very powerful. You can run this command to get full analysis and explanation, everything about the bond market. So if we click on that, so here's the analysis, bond market analysis, treasury yield curve for the 3-month, 5-year, 10-year. It gives a bunch of information. And then it tells you, for the credit market conditions, for the equity market. How would you have liked if you had access to speak with Warren Buffett, with Peter Lynch, and Ray Dalio, right? If you had access to speak with them 24/7 and get their view if a stock is a buy for them according to their decades of stock market experience and their criteria. If you had access to them, then you're most likely going to feel much better about your long-term investments and the stocks you are considering to buy. Well, in our Discord, we have that. It's an AI version of Warren Buffett, an AI version of Peter Lynch, and an AI version of Ray Dalio. All three of these AI versions work strictly based on their version of criteria, like on what they represent. So the AI version of Warren Buffett analyzes and gives its opinion and recommendation based on its opinion. It's not a financial advice of a stock. It analyzes the stock. You ask it based on the Warren Buffett criteria, based on how Warren Buffett would grade a stock. The same thing with Peter Lynch and so on. So if I clicked on Warren Buffett, for example, all right, so we have the Buffett command. Let's run Google, for example. So here's the result. So it tells you Google analysis, Alphabet Incorporation, great analysis results, current Buffett metrics, overall score 82 out of 100. I personally noticed that whenever our Warren Buffett AI version gives a score of 80 or higher on a stock, it turns out to always do well. So it gives you a complete analysis on how Warren Buffett measures and comes up with the overall score and rating. He bases on his valuation metrics, his profitability analysis, the Buffett investment criteria that it meets. The same thing is for /Lynch. If I were to type Lynch, we get the Peter Lynch. And then you can type a stock and Peter Lynch will give you his analysis. And then the same thing for Ray Dalio. You would get this, you click on that, you type the ticker symbol. Let me type, for example, HAFN, which obviously Ray Dalio would not buy this on his portfolio. But I just wanted to show you how it comes up in the results. So you have HAFN, the Dalio economic cycle analysis. Ray Dalio has always based his investment on an all-weather investment strategy, so obviously shipping stocks would not be in his portfolio. Overall, though, he didn't give it a bad score. He gave it a 50 out of 100. I'm surprised. I thought he would have given it a much lower score. Not bad, not bad. We also have a Zacks analysis. So according to Zacks Investment Research, it will give you an analysis of a stock that you ask it. We have the Bull Screener, which is an advanced version of our momentum analysis. If you click on that and type the symbol, it'll generate a technical analysis chart with indicators. Comprehensive, you click on that and enter the ticker symbol, it gives you a complete analysis using all criteria. So it uses momentum, Buffett, Lynch, and Zacks. You also have the dividend. Click on that, type the symbol, and get dividend information and yield data. The earnings, click on that, type the symbol, you get the earnings data. Economic data for the markets, including GDP, unemployment, federal funds rate, treasury yields, everything here. The fair value of a stock. Filings, 13F filings. If you want a full analysis, a current full analysis of natural gas, you can click on that. For gold, we also have for oil, we also have for silver. And then you also have access to right here, which is My Picks 2025 that you can see here on the left. My Picks 2025, wherever I pick live, I will post it so people will know. And if that's all not enough, which is pretty much enough with all those tools I already showed you, that's pretty much enough. And you'll know what the heck you're doing. It cuts the homework. You don't even have to, it pretty much cuts the homework down like 90%, but it does a lot of homework for you already. You also get access to bot commands, and there's various types of other commands you can do here. Quant alerts, the dark pool exchange. I'm not going to explain it right now. You can look it up. It exists. It's a different exchange for the elites, and we get live the buy and sells and what they bought, what they sold, how much, all that stuff here in the dark pool. Here's an example of dark pool. Was a buy for ticker symbol SU. They bought 6.2 million shares at $38.40, as you can see here. The halts, anything that is halted immediately will show up here. Golden sweeps, if you're into options, then you want to know about the latest golden sweeps options and what the elites are doing, and we get that live running here. The news, all the latest news, trust me, the news that come in here come faster than you would see them on the Webull trading app or on Moomoo. So it's very cool to see the news here first before they show up on the platforms. FDA approvals, unusual options, insider trading, analyst ratings, SEC filings, buybacks, Federal Reserve, earnings guidance, IPO offerings, and a bunch of other channels. If you want to join us, join us. If you don't, that's fine. Just follow this YouTube video, because in this YouTube video, I also give out obviously, free information. And one of this information that I'm going to give you is right now a stock that I think people might want to look at going forward due to the big news.
But Steve, on the rare earths thing, okay, they're going to give us a 6-month extension. This, according to Wall Street Journal story running, do the permitting, which the Bidens wouldn't let us do. This problem's been around for a long time. I don't want the Chinese to be able to hold us hostages on rare earths, Steve Vaughn.
And if anybody else is personally fed up and wants the U.S. to be fully independent and not be dependent on China, and wants the U.S. to produce its own rare earth minerals from the beginning process all the way to the end product, then you might find this news that came out 2 days ago, which is Wyoming rare earth mining facility to be the very first. And this is why it's big news. It's going to be the first to open in over 70 years. It belongs to a company which trades on the stock market, and the ticker symbol is METC, and it's at $11.94. This company is called Ramaco Resources, and this company engages in the development, the operation, and the sale of coal, but also for rare earth mining, which is what it's going to begin now. Wyoming is emerging as a significant area of rare earth element mining and development. Now, when the news came out was on July 2nd. So here's July 2nd, and the news came out, and the stock popped a little bit, and it went up. Now it's not over, and it's at 11.72 where it closed in the after hours. They do have revenue, so this is pretty awesome. First of all, the revenue is growing from 2020 to current has skyrocketed. They finished at around $628 million recently, but we're almost at $700 million in 2023. So let's go over to our stock wizard AI tool in the Discord, and let's test METC to see if it's even worth buying. Obviously, personally speaking, for me, it is because of the news, right? But, let's just look at it. So let's go to momentum. Let's type momentum and get that command, the regular momentum, the fast analysis momentum, METC. What does our AI think for METC? Does it have a buy signal? And we get a 100. Look at that. A 100 out of 100 strong buy signal. Can you see that? Now, let me also run the bull screener, because the bull screener is more strict in what it chooses as a buy. So it would be very interesting to see what our bull screener command thinks of METC. And yeah, like I said, this one's more strict. It gives it a recommendation of 69 out of 100 because it takes into consideration, for example, if you look at the fast momentum analysis or optimized momentum analysis, same thing. This one takes into consideration the MACD, the stochastic, and support level, resistance level, and the RSI, right? So based on that stuff, so based on this criteria, it comes up with its score, which many times that I've noticed, and I look back at what the optimized momentum has come up with, and then what happened with the stock. Many times it's right, but like I said, you should still do your own homework. But the bull screener is very, very, very strict. Because it takes into consideration much more. It takes into consideration the RSI, MACD, stochastic, the moving average, the ADX, the Bollinger Band, the BB squeeze, the OBV, and the volume analysis. It takes into consideration far more technical analysis, a very deep technical analysis, but still, nonetheless, the fact that it gives us 69 out of 100, and based on the news that came out, I think is all good. It's a go for me, right? So I think that METC is a stock that can, in my opinion, make me money. Now, this doesn't mean that it's financial advice for you. That's because my opinion, my YouTube videos, my information is never financial advice. It never is. Thank you very much for watching this YouTube video. I hope that it covered a lot of your questions about how I find stocks. Maybe gave you some answers. Maybe it opened up your eyes to something that might be helpful for you. And let me know what you think about ticker symbol METC going forward. And have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.